Hello, this is a video on Alice for class Computer Science 1213, Introduction to Computing. When you open the Alice program, you get this window that asks what background you want to use. Now these are plain backgrounds here, and further down they have some backgrounds that are more detailed under the Starters tab. There's quite a few. The problem with these is they take up a lot of memory in your computer, and they may make your program run slow. So what we want to do is concentrate on using one of these backgrounds. For this first one, I'm going to choose the grass background and then click OK. This gives me a place to work to create an Alice program. So this is the next scene that comes up. Let me get it in the frame. There we go. And even though it comes here first, the first thing we want to do is set up the scene. So I'm going to click that. And that opens up a screen that fills with this part. Alright, here's the place we set up the scene. Now the first thing we want to do here, and let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay. First thing we want to do here is adjust our horizon. Here's the horizon right here. And what we want to do is move that down so that we have 2/3 sky and 1/3 ground. This is called the rule of thirds. For your programs that you submit, you should use this rule of thirds regardless of the background that you're starting with. Now when we deal with Alice, we deal with two major groups. They're either going to be a noun or they're going to be a verb. A noun is a thing in our program. Right now we have two. Looking over here in the left, upper left corner, we have some ground, which is all this here, and we have a camera. The camera is looking at the ground, looking at the scene. If we change the view of the camera and go to a top view, we're looking from above, that thing in the circle right here is the camera pointed out looking at the scene. It's a thing, makes it a noun. And right here we see what the camera sees. The camera is an object, and that is one of two objects we have in this so far. The objects we have to choose from are organized according to a type. We have a biped class, flyer class, prop class, quadruped class, slitherer class, swimmer class, and transport classes. For our first program, we want to pick two biped classes. So I'm going to click on that. And here's all the multitude of choices we have from our biped class. Now this means that they have two legs. So anything with two legs gets put into the biped class. So here's a rabbit. And to put him in our scene, I'm going to hold the button down and drag him into the scene. And we get this box. Now in this box it says, well, the value type is a white rabbit. That's the name down here in the bottom. That doesn't change. We could pick a different biped if we decided we didn't use the rabbit, or we could just delete the rabbit and pick another one, which is what I'd do probably. And then you can change the name. Right now it says white rabbit. Now I want you to notice the way the white rabbit name is written. The first character of a name is lowercase. When the word changes, the first letter of the new word and each new word thereafter starts with an uppercase. This is the convention that's used for naming variables in Alice. So I'm going to click OK, and it put the rabbit in my scene. Now I need another character. Here's a tiger. I could use a tiger or a turtle. It's a two-legged turtle. There's a March hare. Might get confused with the rabbit. There's a bunny. Here's an Alice. Here's a big bad wolf. I'll get the wolf, drag him in. Notice that the naming of the wolf starts with a lowercase b, spells big, and then the capital B for bad is used, and the capital W for wolf is used. That's how it's named. I'll click OK, and now I have two characters. I don't like the sizes, and they're probably not oriented correctly, not beside each other. So let me look at the top view. And there's my two characters. So I'm going to move the wolf. I think I'll move the rabbit a little bit too. Now the rabbit and the wolf are about right. If I look at the side view, they're lined up pretty good. But I don't care for the height. They need to be bigger. I need to be able to see them better. Right now I've got the white rabbit selected because it has this ring around it. And it says this white rabbit over here on the right. If I click the resize button over here, I get this little arrow here, and I can make the rabbit bigger. Well, now I can see the detail much better. But now he's a lot bigger than the wolf. So if I click on the wolf, now it says the big bad wolf over here on the right. And I can click and drag this up and make the wolf bigger. We'll make him just a hair larger, no pun intended, than the rabbit. Okay. Now it says this over here on the right because I clicked on the sky. This is the whole picture. My options are the whole thing, the ground, the camera, the rabbit, or the wolf. So I'm on the whole thing right now. All right. So now I have two figures in the scene with the horizon in the right place. So I'm going to go edit the code. So I click edit code now that my scene is set up. And here I am. This place right here below the picture indicates what object I'm working with currently. And I want to work with the rabbit. So now I'm on the rabbit. And I can do all these things to the rabbit. And we'll use a lot of these during the semester. Now these are procedures. Procedures are things, actions that the rabbit does. Functions, on the other hand, give you information that the rabbit has. Or identifies a particular part of the rabbit. Most of these have to do with the characteristics of the rabbit. These get statements get you information. And you can get a particular part of the rabbit and do something with that. We'll look at that as we go along. Alright, so on the procedures, what I want the rabbit to do is I want him to turn to face the wolf. Here's an orientation procedure. So I'm going to click this turn to face and drag it over here to this program area. And then it comes up with this list because it says white rabbit turn to face target, and then there's question marks. Where do you want it to turn? Well, I want it to turn to the big bad wolf. So now the white rabbit will turn to face the big bad wolf. Then I want the rabbit to say something. And I want the rabbit to say knock, knock. It won't be audio, it'll just be text. It's like a cartoon strip. Alright, so if I run this program right here, it opens up, the rabbit turns to the wolf and says, knock, knock. Let me run it again, it went pretty quick. Now, another thing you'll need for this program is the do together, which is found down at the bottom. Drag it up and drop it in here, and then you can put statements in this box. And we can have the rabbit turn to face the camera, and we can have the wolf turn to face the camera. And then we can have the wolf say ha ha ha. And we can have the rabbit say ha ha ha. And just so the wolf, oh, let me show you something else you can do with this. So if I right click in this fuzzy border area, then there's an option that says copy to clipboard. Now the clipboard's over here, this brown clipboard icon thing. When I copy to the clipboard, it now shows a piece of paper on the clipboard, which means there's something in there. So if I drag that down here, and change the rabbit to the big bad wolf and change the big bad wolf to the rabbit, they will face each other. So to do it again, if I right click on the border, copy the clipboard, and then drag from the clipboard down in my program, then I can make changes to the objects. And I can change the text and whatever else. So now when I run the program, the rabbit will turn to the wolf and say knock knock. Then the wolf will turn to the rabbit and say who's there. And then they'll both turn and face the camera and say ha 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 at the same time, I think. Let's see what happens. So there you go. You'll have to find your own knock knock joke, but that's some help on the first program and how that works. I hope this has been helpful. Do your own work, and we'll see you in class or on the internet.